Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Thank you for coming out on this beautiful afternoon to honor Marcus Garvey on his 121st birthday. And for the second raising of the red, black, and green flag and all the history of Boston, Massachusetts. So we're going to get started right off with a brief biography of Marcus Garvey, along with looking at all the events of Black August and part of our Black liberation struggle. So here we go for Jesse.
Please, thank you for coming. Marcus Mosiah Garvey, one of the greatest leaders African people have produced, was born August 17, 1887, in St. Anne's Bay, Jamaica, and spent his entire life in the service of his people, African people. He was bold, he was uncompromising, and he was one of the most powerful orators on record. He could literally bring his audiences to a state of mass hysteria. Garvey emphasized racial pride. His goal was nothing less than the total, complete redemption and liberation of African people around the planet. His dream was the galvanization of Black people into an unrelenting steamroller that could never be defeated. I consider myself, along with many others, as one of Garvey's children. As a young man of 14, Garvey left school and worked as a printer's apprentice. He participated in Jamaica's earliest nationalist organizations, traveled throughout Central America, and spent time in London, England, where he worked with the Sudanese Egyptian nationalist Muhammad Ali. In 1916, Garvey was invited by Booker T. Washington to come to the United States in the hopes of establishing an industrial training school, but arrived just after Washington died. In March 1916, shortly after landing in America, Garvey embarked upon an extended period of travel. When he finally settled down, he organized a chapter of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. The UNI and ACL had been formed in Jamaica in 1914. Its motto was "One God, One Aim, One Destiny," and pledged itself to the redemption of Africa and the uplift of Black people everywhere. It aimed at race pride, self-reliance, and economic independence. Within a few years, Garvey had become the best-known and most dynamic African leader in the Western Hemisphere, perhaps the entire world. In 1919, Mr. Garvey created an international shipping company called the Black Star Line. By 1920, UNI had hundreds of divisions. It hosted elaborate international conventions and published a weekly newspaper entitled The Negro World. No other organization in modern times has had the prestige and the impact of the UNI and the ACL. During the 1920s, the UNI divisions existed throughout the North, South, Central America, and the Caribbean, Africa, Europe, and Australia. So basically all over the world. As you all know, Garvey was the creator of the red, black, and green flag. It was unveiled to the world by the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey and other members of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League of the world at its first international convention, August 13, 1920. The UNI and ACL knew that Africans at home and abroad needed their own flag, as other flags around the world could not represent the collective of African people. The use of red, black, and green as colors symbolizing African nationhood was first adopted by the UNI and ACL as part of the 1920 Declaration of Rights as the official colors of the African race. So, I wanted to briefly run through some different Black history facts from August, because August is a month rich with Black history, and we're continuing that history today by being here and raising this flag. But in August of 1619, the first Africans were brought to Jamestown as slaves.
August 22nd, 1971, Haitian Revolution began, led by Toussaint Louverture and Jean-Jacques Dessalines.
On August 30th, 1800, Gabriel Process slave rebellion took place.
August 21st, 1831, Prophet Nat slave rebellion. August 22nd, 1843, Henry Highland Gardner slave strike.
On August 2nd, 1850, the Underground Railroad was started.
On August 17, 1887, birth of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, father of Black nationalism.
That's why we're here today.
Shakur, new African prisoner of war.
On August 27th of 1963 was the transition of W.E.B. Du Bois, who gave us the souls of black folks.
On August 28, 1963, March on Washington.
On August 11th, 1965 was when the Watch Rebellion actually began.
August 7, 1970, Jonathan Jackson, Marion County CA Courthouse Rebellion.
On August 18th, 1971 was the date that the RNA, Original Government of the Republic of New Africa, was raided by Mississippi police and FBI agents.
And on August 21st, 1971, George Jackson San Quentin Prison Rebellion began.
On August 22nd, 1989 was actually when we lost Q.E.P. Newman, who was a co-founder of the original Black Panther Party.
And on August 8, 1978, the Moo family was bombed by the Philadelphia police.
And continuing in this legacy too, on August 28th of this year, Barack Obama was accepted for nomination from the Democratic Party in front of the Democratic nominee for the Democratic Party. Before we get into some of the other speakers that we have scheduled for today, I wanted to read some quotes from Marcus Garvey that stood out to me, that I thought were real powerful. Marcus Garvey said that we are not fighting America, we are fighting hypocrisy and lies, and that we are going to fight to the bitter end. He said, I do not speak carelessly or recklessly, but with a definite object of helping the people, especially those of my race, to know, to understand, and to realize themselves. Everybody knows the famous quote, I'm sure, of you might race, you can accomplish what you will. He said that the world ought to know that it cannot keep 400 million Negroes down forever. There was always a turning point in destiny of every race, every nation, of all peoples, and we have come now to the turning point of the Negro, where we have changed from the old cringing weakling and transformed into full-grown men and women demanding our portion. For over 300 years, the white man has been our oppressor, and he naturally is not going to liberate us to our freedom. The true liberty, the true democracy we have to liberate ourselves.
Thank you, Jesse, for sharing those inspirational quotes. Next we have Kazi Touré from the Jericho movement, who will give a few remarks.
People.
I would like to first thank those who organized this event. And I'm honored to say a few words on behalf of political prisoners, especially New African political prisoners, locked up in these here United States of America. First, I would like to thank those organizing it for continuing to organize and raise consciousness about history that the dominant culture buries and hopes to stay buried. A lot of people don't even know who Marcus Messiah Garvey is. A lot of black people here in this country don't even know. And they don't know about the red, black, and green, and still waving the red, white, and blue. And I want to thank y'all for continuing to bring this out and point it out. It's really sad that not that many people out, because I was speaking people walking through from Jamaica and a lot of places, and I was like, what's up with y'all? You going up to the flag wave, raising? And they said, what? They didn't know this stuff was happening. And that's because, when they on CNN or whatever, they're watching, So, like Nas says, watch what you're watching. September, you know, they really, anybody can talk about anything black, you know, you're going on this, you know, and they even backing up most of our elected officials, you know, won't even dare talk about black issues, or talk about the mortality rate in the black community that's just as high as like some third world countries. And stuff's been brought back to like past 1968. And these people are afraid to talk about it. So, you know, like, I hope that, you know, like I said, y'all continue to do this work, mobilizing in Boston, and hope to see you on the bus on 10/10. Speaking in New York, try to make some noise around political prisoners locked up in the United States, and say bring them home. All power people.
All power.
When we say that, African for the African, say that. That's right.
Next we have Dima, who's going to share with us some of her poetry.
Singer like Billie Holiday who nestled the blues in her womb, forcing you to feel her fingers. Motherland leads Africa, giving birth to night-colored children. View her with respect and admiration. Her dark eyes illuminate the sun. Her dark eyes enlighten the soul. And she urges you to remember. Remember her pain. Remember her losses. Don't forget her riches or her history slain. Don't forget your riches or your history slain. Don't forget.
Thank you, Dima, for that beautiful poetry. Next, we have our Councilman Chuck Turner.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I want to thank all of you who organized this. It's critically important as African Americans that we